When creating a team of Pokemon, there are normally so many options to help mold your party for what you want it to accomplish. However, what if I told you there's a playstyle of Pokemon that rewards team building skills, encourages unconventional builds, and pushes players to their absolute limits?
Tracking down.
Nick, go touch grass.
If you don't know what a draft league is, go check out the first time I did one over here, which features content creators like Jingles, Justin Tang, John Luke VGC, and a bunch of other PokeTubers that don't start with the letter J. This time around, I've been invited back to defend my championship crown for the Ditto Draft League. With this new season, there are 14 PokeTubers in total participating in this league. Because the meta is still so new for champions, there were no points assigned to any Pokemon or player. We got to pick any 10 Pokemon that we wanted, one at a time, in a snake draft format. With only 186 Pokemon available in the roster, this would mean that pickings would be slim. We did add an extra rule, however, that Megas would count as their own Pokemon. However, they would need to hold their Mega Stone at all times if chosen, effectively having an itemless Pokemon. Seeing that I got seeded 5th, I didn't get a chance to really secure a lot of combos or picks that I wanted, but I had a list of backups just in case. And when that list failed, I went with the shiniest garbage I could find. Whimsicott was my first pick. Being one of the fastest Tailwind setters in the game thanks to Prankster made it a huge selling point for myself. Along with that, it has a lot of good supportive moves such as Light Screen, Encore, Taunt, Helping Hand, Charm, Fake Tears, and can provide a Sun mode for my team and disrupt other users who are keen on setting up weather. Speaking of weather, my first pick that I really wanted this whole team to blend around was Mega Tyranitar. Tyranitar already has some pretty good stats, but Mega Tyranitar bumps that stat total to 700, making it a monstrous Pokemon to fight against. With a 164 physical attack stat, 150 physical defense stat, and 120 special defense stat, this thing is going nowhere anytime soon. Although I won't lie, I think base Medicham with telepathy might still make him scream a little bit. Because both Mega T-Tar and Base T-Tar get the same ability Sandstream, I have an opportunity to keep the weather the way I want it, not only denying other weather conditions, but getting to do consistent chip damage to Pokemon who aren't Steel, Rock, or Ground type. On top of that, Sandstorm gives Rock type Pokemon a 50% boost to their special defense stats, effectively boosting Mega T-Tar's special defense stat to 180 and keeping it a tanky Pokemon for sure. While I wanted my next pick to be Mega Garchomp so I could abuse the extra damage it gets with Sand Out, Scooteezy decided he didn't want anyone to have any fun and proceeded to not only take Mega Garchomp, but also 2 redirectors from everyone. I'm not salting you. So instead, I decided to go for what I knew best. Milotic is a solid supportive option that can scare off Intimidate users thanks to its competitive ability, which can keep T-Tar safe from attack drops. Milotic has a lot of offensive and supportive utility, whether you go for a Scald Icy Wind set, Coil Hypnosis Muddy Water set, or even utilizing Haze and Life Dew for setup Pokemon on the opponent's team or recovery for yourself. There's a lot of potential with this mon, and probably one of my favorites to team build with. Next, to get some offensive pressure going on this team, as a backup that pairs well with Whimsicott, I decided to go for Mega Glimmora. With its new adaptability ability it gets, Poison and Rock type attacks will be hitting my opponents like a dump truck, especially with that 150 special attack stat. It's also able to deal with Fairy types that I would struggle against and can abuse Sandstorm's defense buff at the same time, giving it a lot of possibilities. To add to our ground type weakness theme that I can never get over, I also grabbed Hisuian Typhlosion once again to give me a new mode with Whimsicott involving Sunny Day Eruption Spam. This gives me massive pressure that my opponents will always have to respect regardless of the week. Along with that, however, Hisuian Typhlosion is also a ghost type, making it immune to fake outs, which can be a valuable asset. With other aggressive tools like Heat Wave, Shadow Ball, Focused Blast, and supportive tools like Mystical Fire and Will-O-Wisp, this Pokemon will be around committing war crimes for sure. Wait, I've already made this joke. Still don't look it up. To try and combat my ground type weakness, I wanted to grab more Pokemon that were immune or resisted such properties. Mega Hawlucha came to mind for sure, as it's an aggressive physical sweeper that gets the ability No Guard, allowing it to always use inaccurate moves without them missing, in return for always being hit by inaccurate moves. So cross chops, dual wing beats, and high jump kicks become a lot scarier to deal with now. Along with that, however, is its funny haha factor that you know I have to have on a team, Entrainment. Entrainment copies the user's ability to a target Pokemon, which is one of the main reasons why I chose to pick Mr. Rime next. Mr. Rime gets a lot of fun tools to use. It's a decently fast fake-out user for starters that also gets access to the move Sheer Cold, allowing us to set up no guard on Mr. Rime and running down our opponents to our heart's content. Along with that, however, it has a decent stat spread with 110 special attack, 100 special defense, and 80 HP. Its screen cleaner ability can help mitigate screens on my opponent's team, and with its extensive supportive move pool, I thought it would be a great attacker and supporter for this team. I wanted to round out some cores next. Seeing that I had a Fire Water Grass core and a Fighting Psychic Dark core, I wanted to grab one more if possible, the Fantasy core, consisting of Fairy, Dragon, and Steel types. A Steel type at the very least would help me play inside of Sandstorm, allowing me to stall and outlast opponents as they get chipped away. And what better Pokemon to do that than with Hisuian Goodra? Believe me, I wanted Corviknight too, but once that and Mega Skarmory got taken, I panicked. But Goodra itself can be its own win condition. Thanks to its insanely high bulk, we can outlast Pokemon while setting up shelter body presses, dropping Draco Meteors on opponents, or heavy slamming anything that looks at us too funny. Its abilities are great as well. Sap Sipper gives us an immunity to grass if needed. Shell Armor can help us ignore critical hits, keeping us as tanky as possible. And Gooey can punish anyone who makes contact with Goodra, lowering their speed stats. Combining its monstrous special defense stat, I think we have a pretty solid Pokemon to really scare off our opponents. For our 9th pick, I went for Kantonian Tauros next. I really wanted an Intimidate user that wasn't weak to ground or fairy types, and I'm not gonna lie, that's all that was left. But there's still a lot we can do with Tauros. With a base speed stat of 110, we can get off some solid attacks or supportive moves depending on the situation. Raging Bull is another way to clear screens from the field, which can be an asset depending on the matchup, and other moves like Throat Chop and Helping Hand helps us make up for its downfalls. And finally, to round out the team, I grabbed Mudsdale as my final Pokemon. While it does have a similar function to Hisuian Goodra, Mudsdale comes with a multitude of playstyles thanks to its abilities, stamina, and inner focus, allowing for either a beat-up body press combo from Whimsicott or a setup attacker that doesn't care about flinching or intimidate. This gives us the opportunity as well to play inside of Trick Room, giving us an amazing curse user that can utilize high horsepower, rock slide, low kick, and heavy slam, giving us at the end of the day a pretty tanky team. And that's the squad. I thought I had a good combination of 2-2-2s like last time, but
I probably put it about a 6. I think it's about middle of the road team.
I know I've got my work cut out for me as well this time around, as we have a lot of trainers who are experts in draft, consisting of Aimel, Jordy VGC, DyeItTight, Robstar-Z, 6ftHax, Standard VR, Viz, OGalbina, and NumbNexus. Returning players from the last draft also consist of Jingles, Shuckleking, Scooteezy VGC, and AlexUsedSplash. As always, my goal is to not come in last, but I like to hold my own to the best of my ability this time around. Thanks again to Jingles for hosting this event and inviting me back to play this season. If you want to keep track of every player or every match, you can either check them out on their respective channels in the description below, or you can follow along in the viewer doc that will be updated with results when every match comes out. What do you think of my team? Are you excited for a specific matchup? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and I hope you join me for my second season inside the Ditto Draft League.